Here's how I created my Savana raised garden bed.
All right, let's see how long it actually takes to build this thing. We don't get a lot of bad weather here, but I am near the ocean, so we do tend to have some rust issues with certain things, so this should be perfect. It even comes with gloves, a pen, and markers, so that's a little bonus. This is the top edging and the sides. One thing you will notice with this Savana garden bed, this is 24 inches, which is important because we want to fill it fairly high up with the woody material. Included with the set is all the hardware that you're going to need. You've also got all the instructions and all these pieces. So let's get building. Okay, this should be pretty straightforward. That was straightforward. It's as simple as this. These little bolts go into here, and I hold that in place, and in the back, this goes in here. And eventually we can tighten these up, but we're gonna keep it loose for a while. Initial frame is in, so I'm gonna go ahead and put in all the rest of the bolts to make it completely put together. So I'm now installing these brackets, which help stabilize the bed. It's been about a day and we've had a bit of a change in weather. It's definitely fall. We're finally getting some rain here in California, which is desperately needed. It did take about 45 minutes to put together. It's got these bars to kind of keep it in place. What's also cool about this, I had it upside down at first. See, there's smaller holes down at the bottom. That's to stake it into the ground. And then these larger ones are for a trellis system, which you could put in, which I am certainly interested in because I do like the idea of putting beans in here. And in the true nature of reduce, reuse, and recycle, I'm going to use the box that my raised metal garden bed came in as the bottom layer. Okay, here we go. So I've just got some soil and clippings in under there. I'm going to add my cardboard. I'll probably have to tear it into a few pieces to fit. So I don't think cardboard is totally necessary. I just happen to have it. I think it'll help with my own gopher problems, and it'll create a nice barrier for the moisture to stay in. Eventually it'll break down as well, and the roots can go even further into the ground there. The main thing is really just finding what you have at your house already. If you have a ton of cardboard, use it. If you have a ton of garden clippings, use that. All right, my cardboard is in, and now I'm just going to use some of these clippings and logs and other garden cuttings that I have to hand. So here is a collection of yard clippings that we've had for so long, and we knew we would use them eventually. On the plus side, we have all different sizes from quite large to small. I should also note I'm using untreated wood. These are yard clippings. I'm not using, 2x4s or other pressure treated wood, because I don't believe they break down the same way. They might be treated with chemicals, you just never know. So use yard clippings. So I'm going to layer all these logs in here. Eventually, we get a nice big layer of the logs, and they will create air pockets, which are good for the roots. As it rots and breaks down, it'll encourage beneficial insects to come in. It will create heat, which is good for the plants, especially new plants. It's just a win-win. Here's how we're looking so far. There's a nice big pile of wood. Next, I think I'm gonna add a layer of more like compost and wood chippings, kind of the smaller stuff to go on top of here, and then nice soil as the last layer for my plants. Okay, so now we have our log layer, we have a layer of mulch, and a bunch of other yard clippings that we just threw in today. So the next step is to add the garden soil. Okay, I'm here at the nursery. We're gonna pick out some good soil for the bed as well as some bedding plants. Okay, here we are. Here's a lot of lettuce options. It is the fall, so there's not a ton, but I think I'm gonna do a mix of herbs and lettuce. I have layered in all of my cardboard, my logs, my yard clippings, and the last job is to put in the soil. Here we go. So obviously this top large layer is purchased soil, but obviously all the organic material that I have on the bottom, that's not going to break down for a long time. So I'm going to add a really good layer of this stuff on top for my plants that I'm going to do now, and they're going to have, you know, at least, you know, almost a full foot of this good soil. Eventually, as everything breaks down, I'm sure I'll need to add more soil. But it's a great way to fill a big bed like this and, you know, make it last a few years. So I did end up taking some soil from other parts of my garden. Obviously there's stuff in there that I don't necessarily want, but it's another way to be a bit economical about this. And I simply mix it all in with the good stuff. So do that much darker good soil, mix it in, try and take the stones out and roots. This is another good way to fill up your bed without spending too much money. I mostly have the purchased soil, but I do have some of the other natural garden soil as well. So here we are. It is morning. The sun is shining. The soil is in. We have so many layers to our hugelkultur bed, and I'm very excited to start planting. I chose some lettuce because I know they'll do okay with the cooler temperatures, some snow peas, and then some annuals, which I've got chamomile and some beautiful sage, and some potatoes. These are just simply from the grocery store. We let them get a little bit too old, so they're gonna go in. Apparently this is all you need to do to grow potatoes. Planted up so far. Obviously I still have a lot of room over there. I might do some seeds for that stuff. I have my potatoes in here, and everything is looking great. It's getting more towards the evening, so obviously the shadows are longer and the shade is coming over, but this site does get a lot of sunlight for most of the day. So that is it. My bed is layered up, planted up, and now we just wait and see how these plants do.